the last thing I wanted to discuss is about EU settlement. Okay, so 29th of March, which is 19th today, 10 days. In 10 days, the well, supposed to be, if it actually proceeds, because no one's happening about Brexit, right? So no one's happening about Brexit. We don't know whether we're going to leave, whether the UK leaves the European Union on the 29th, or whether it's going to be extended. But in the event that it actually goes ahead, for me, I really don't want it to happen. I want the UK to remain with the European Union. But if it does, then I wanted to clarify the misconception by the European citizens in the UK that if you have a permanent residence status, if you've obtained it, that you don't have to apply for the EU settlement scheme, which is wrong, okay? All EU citizens in the UK, if they want to continue to live in the UK beyond 31st of January 2020, you have to apply for EU settled or pre-settled status. Okay, so irrespective of whether or not you already have indefinite leave to remain, whether or not you have permanent residence, you still have to make this application. And I'm clarifying this because I saw a client today. He accompanied somebody who was seeing me for the EU settlement application, and he said, "Oh no, I don't have to apply because I've got I already have permanent resident status." And I said to him, all EU citizens, okay, all EU citizens who wants to stay in the UK beyond 31st of December 2020 will need to apply for the EU settlement scheme. So if you apply now, you have to pay £65 for it, but that will be refunded by the Home Office, I think after 29th of March. But if you apply after 29th of March, which I advise clients to wait, okay, what's the point of applying now? We don't even know whether or not it's going ahead. Okay, so I hope it's not going ahead. But if it does, then it's better to wait after the 29th of March, because that's when the scheme officially opens, and their system should be perfect. Okay, at the moment there's still some kind of hiccups, and but on the 29th of March their system where you make the application should be, fault free, I hope. So everyone has to apply. If you apply 29th of March, you don't have to pay the £65 that they're currently charging at the moment. All right. And if you want some information about that, I'm going to be doing some live the next couple of days, mainly on the EU settlement scheme and what you need to do to apply, because then at least you've got 10 days if you want to apply after the 29th of March. Okay, so that is update on the EU settlement scheme. All of the EU citizens and their family members, sorry, I forgot to mention, and family members of EU citizens will have to apply for the EU settlement, so settled and pre-settled status. So settled status, what does it mean? Settled status means you've already resided in the UK as a worker, self-employed, for 5 years. Okay, and how do they know whether you have got the 5 years residency qualification? They base it on your national insurance. So you need your national insurance number when you apply, and the Home Office will then trace whatever data that the HMRC holds on you, and if they can see that you've been consistently paying tax for the last 5 years, then you will be given settled status. Settled status means permanent. Okay, permanent. It's the same as permanent residency. If you, for example, you have been in the UK for, let's say, 7 years, all right? You've been living in the UK for 7 years, but let's say after 3 years, 3 years ago, you left for 6 months. Okay, let's just say you left for 6 months. The Home Office can again trace it through your national insurance number to check whether or not you have consistently paid tax, you know, been employed, and so on. And they will, if they can detect that there's some kind of gap, like 6 months gap, then your 5 years residency will be broken. So they will consider as you didn't have continuous 5 years of residency in the UK, and therefore you will be given pre-settled status. But you can challenge it. Now there's going to be some kind of difficulties, I think, because you may find that the Home Office, the HMRC records may not be updated. Like, for example, some of you will be self-employed and you may not have, you know, updated your, might not have filed tax for the last 3 years, but you have consistently worked. According to HMRC records, you have only been paying tax, let's say, you know, for the last 4 years, but not the last year. So you need to make sure that your tax records are updated. And if the Home Office, if when you apply and the Home Office says that you are only, from their records, you were only entitled to, you have only been resident for less than 5 years, then you need to challenge it, okay? There's going to be, after Brexit, there's going to be some challenges for EU citizens. That's all I can say at the moment. Nothing is for certain, apart from, you know, they're still negotiating whether or not there's going to be Brexit. There's going to be, well, there is Brexit. Whether there's going to be a deal, a no deal, or extend the date for leaving the United Kingdom. So, okay, guys. All right. I'm just going through the comments and see. I think I could see one question there from Javid. Hello, Beth. Hello, Beth. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So, Javid, does Brexit affect non-EU entry clearance outside the UK? Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. Nothing to do with non-EU citizens applying to come to the UK. So the rules for non-EU citizens are not affected. As far as I know, are not affected. So no, Javid. Okay, so that's all the question that I have. So that's just the update for the time being. Again, as I said, I'm going to be doing live about EU settlement scheme because that's kind of topical at the moment. But we are going to keep an eye on what the Brexit, what's really going to happen with Brexit. Okay. But for those who are concerned whether or not their application, whether they are affected by Brexit, unless you are an EU citizen or you are a family member of an EU citizen, then you should not be affected by Brexit at all. Okay, guys. See you and have a lovely Tuesday evening. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye.